So it was probably around the year 7000 BC, the year 7000 BC, and you're sitting around in your cave. You're staring at your family, staring at your friends, because that's really all that there was to do in 7000 BC, right? Well, you're realizing that all of you are starting to get hungry. And in the year 7000 BC, what do you do when you start to get hungry? You don't just walk over to the refrigerator, pull out a bunch of Hot Pockets, microwave the Hot Pockets, and eat the Hot Pockets. That's not what you do in 7000 BC. So what do you start to do? You start to create a plan on leaving your cave, leaving your home, going out and hunting your food, because that's what we did in 7000 BC. Now, immediately, the thought of leaving your home, leaving your cave, causes anxiety. It causes a huge amount of nervousness in the year 7000 BC. Why is that? Because when you leave your cave in 7000 BC, really bad things can happen to you. And that is an example, as well as the millions of years of evolution prior to that. All that evolution that preceded the 21st century is now in our brains. As a result of what I just explained, you have one of the 120 or so documented, that are documented anyway, 120 or so biases in our brains that we deal with day in and day out, especially when we are dealing with stressful things. Stressful things like money, by the way, which I'll get to here in a bit. That bias that I just talked about is called the home bias. Do you know that when you leave your home, or when you leave the country and go into an unknown place, there is a certain level of anxiety that is taking over your body, right? Why is that? Because of that example that I just used. That is Mother Nature. That is not Mother Nature, but the millions of years of evolution that has just taught our brains, taught our DNA to be nervous when we leave our home. Anyway, back to our caveman. So our caveman and the family and friends, they're creating a plan to go out and hunt for food. Why is it the entire team? Why is it the entire family? Why is it family and friends? Because this is something else called the herd effect, right? The second of 120 or so documented biases. Because when I am with a group of people, the chances of me getting hurt when I go out to hunt for food when I'm with a group of people is a heck of a lot less than if I did it alone. Have you ever heard of the herd effect? People, it feels so much more comfortable to be wrong with a million people than to be right all alone, right? And that is called the herd instinct. People like to follow what other people do. Well, that is as a result, again, of not just the example I'm talking about, but the millions of years prior to that. So anyway, back to our caveman. You're out in the woods, you're hunting for your food. You're hunting for that, what did we eat in 7000 BC? Was it rabbits, or was it pigs, or an earlier iteration of a hog or a boar, or I don't know what it is, but you're looking for this thing so that you and your family can eat it. And you hear this big, huge, thunderous growl from about 20 yards behind you. This huge, thunderous growl. You turn around and immediately see that it is an 800-pound saber-toothed tiger. It's looking at you, and it is hungry. Now, what goes on in your brain at that point in time? Because there are really two primary brain functions, right? There's the analytical side of the brain. That's usually the left-hand side of the brain. Various books say it's not so much about left and right, it's more about up and down. But nonetheless, let's call it the left side of the brain, analytical side. Or is it a right brain functionality? Is it the emotional thing that happens at that point in time? Here is what happens in your brain at that point in time when you see that saber-toothed tiger. And this is a part of that millions of years of evolution that have formed me and you. It is this. Immediately at the base of the brain, something called the pituitary gland, which is the master gland. It's the gland that controls many other glands in our body, right? It is sending a message to the adrenal glands that sit on each of our kidneys. And it's telling those adrenal glands that those adrenal glands need to secrete a hormone into the bloodstream, and they need to do it right now. And what is that hormone? That hormone is called adrenaline. Adrenaline's amazing stuff. What does adrenaline do? It increases your heart rate, increases your blood pressure, dilates your pupils, makes you more aware of your surroundings. It increases the blood flow to the muscles that allow you to be more athletically capable to either fight or flight this 800-pound saber-toothed tiger. This stuff that's given to us by our maker, this is absolutely amazing stuff, right? These tools, this adrenaline, this right brain reflexive, not reflective, this right brain reflexive ability that we have as human beings and our biological makeup. It's absolutely amazing stuff that has allowed us to survive saber-toothed tigers. But today the stock market, although today was a good day, the stock market was up over 2,000 points, but it's been the most volatile in the history of the United States stock market, right? In an environment like we're in today, you have those instincts, those fight or flight instincts, the herd mentality, the home bias. Wow, we are in unprecedented territory, and this just makes me so nervous. Today, we are in a world that is so much more complicated that, frankly, the tools that we have in our brain still and will have forever, they're outdated compared to the rational, kind of level-handed thinking that we need to have as human beings in today's world. Because when you see the stock market drop 2,000 points, that's equivalent to looking at that saber-toothed tiger, right? There is nothing more emotional than money. And when those emotions kick in, you have, again, a good chunk of these 120 different cognitive biases that are also kicking in, that are as a result of, well, the millions of years of evolution and how we are wired, right? The point is try as much as you can to just kind of calm down. We're going to get through this. Whether it's a market skyrocketing today, which it did, it's up over 2,000 points. And by the way, the dopamine levels in people's brains when they are making money, there have been studies done. The dopamine levels in people's brains when they are making money is equivalent to being on cocaine in certain levels or certain levels of cocaine. There's a lot of research that's been done on this. You know, it's amazing. But then you have the complete opposite. You have the market tanking 2,000 points, and it's that fight or flight. Do I run? Everybody else is running, that herd instinct, right? So there is a good corollary between money and that saber-toothed tiger in the caveman days back 7,000 years ago. So my point is keep a level head here and talk with somebody that can help you through this and give you their advice. So my name is Charlie Gipple, and I am the CEO of CG Financial Group. Feel free to give us a call, 515-986-3065. Also, like this post if you did like the video below, and share with family and friends so they know to keep a level head, keep a steady hand through this. We're going to get through this. We're all going to be fine.